Hello YouTubers, this is an update on what's been going on with me. I haven't posted a video for about 4 months, and all the other videos I've done had just been me singing and expressing myself through the art of karaoke. Well, I've changed majors in school. I'm no longer going for medical assisting. I switched to business, which was my end goal anyway. Ever since I was in high school, I wanted to own my own witchcraft supply store. But I was a little afraid to just jump into it. But at this point in time, I don't care. I'm tired of, living with anxiety and only taking minimal, I'm just gonna go for it, because, let's face it, there's nothing much else going on with me to pull my life together. It was a long break from school, too. We had, almost a month-long break. I think it was a month, actually. It's too long. I went back to school Tuesday. I started business classes the semester before. I almost flunked out of school because I got sick and depressed near the end of the semester. And then I couldn't see my kids for Christmas. I bought them each 2 gifts. But she doesn't want me around my kids, because when I hug my daughter, I cry. And I don't think she completely understands why, and she thinks it's hurting my daughter to see me cry, and it probably is. But that's not the only reason. It's because I slip up and I call them by Drusilla and Paladin. These are the names I gave them. Even my grandmother has to go through a list of grandkids' names before she gets each of us right. I don't see this as me being a danger to my child. I don't necessarily hug my son, because he doesn't know me like that, and he's still not verbal, whereas Drusilla can understand a little more, and I'm more bonded with Drusilla. I'm not very bonded with my son, and that's mostly my fault, but I was terrified of getting attached to my son, because I knew they were going to take him right from the hospital. I knew that. So I had trouble bonding, and then there wasn't even time to bond, because they took him right from the hospital. They were trying to get me to breastfeed. I'm like, I'm not going to breastfeed, because they're going to take him. Maybe they used that against me. I don't know, but, that's all over with. They've been adopted. Their names have been changed. I have no idea what to do, because I signed my rights away, and I feel as though I was tricked. She said you could be a mother to them, just not on paper. And that'll teach me. But I had to get children youth out of my children's lives, because they're just... The purpose they were set up for is a noble purpose, but some of them don't function for that purpose. Because apparently they do get money for each kid that's in foster care, apparently. That could probably motivate anybody to be a little dirty. And I've met so many people who are dealing with nonsense from this, not just Luzerne, but even in other states. The system is not perfect, but it's it's corrupt. It's okay not to be perfect, but admit your mistakes. Except you can't admit your mistakes when you don't think you're doing anything wrong. And that's just sad. I am sitting in my children's room. I kind of made it an office because I didn't know what else to do with it. It was just taking up space, and I've had my last roommate. I'm not taking in anybody else. Not that I had a bad experience, but I'm gonna be focusing more on doing what I need to do for me and not worry about so much about helping others, because that's been a detriment to me. Not that I'm going to stop helping others, but I'm just not going to reach out so far as to say, here, I'm going to put a roof over your head for a while. I'm not going to do that no more. Because I need my sanctuary, my quiet space to come to do what I need to do to sort my life outside the house out. I need this stable base to do what I need to do. In this room, I have things that belong to my children in very high places, such as, there's that wall over there. That's all my daughters. Now, that's my son's poster. I don't have too many things of my son's because I didn't have him very often, Didn't have him the way I had my daughter. And that toy Dracula, that's my daughter's. That's my daughter's crown, and those boxes, they contain, they used to contain personalized chocolate bars with my children's names on them. It is slightly painful to look at them, even more so than some other things in this house, because they don't have their real last names on them. They have the Jacobs last name. But my son's father saved them from the garbage. The woman was going to throw them away. I understand that, those aren't the names you gave them, but, ask somebody if they would like them, because that's a memento. Maybe the kids would like when they're older. Regardless of how you feel about the names I gave them, that's not your friggin' place. I am sorry. I don't care what the law says. That's not your friggin' place to determine whether my kids are going to be okay with the names I gave them. You can change them. You have the legal right to change them, but that doesn't mean you have control over their opinion. There's my children's clothes in here and all their toys and, but maybe this room can be a place of healing and a place to get things together, as opposed to the embodiment of all my pain and suffering. I've gotten more comfortable with being in here. This has now become like my favorite room in the house. Probably because it's the warmest. Because it's quite cold downstairs, and, but, my bedroom probably should be my favorite room, but it's not. And that's where my altar is, and that's where, I sleep, but it's not my favorite room. It's now become that cocoon that I need to venture to every now and then, which is fine. But I also realized I needed a place to venture out of my cocoon to organize things like my bills, my paperwork, my homework. And I'm still lacking internet accessibility from my laptop. I am making this video on my phone. But that's a short-term goal I hope will be remedied soon. Because then I could get so much more work done in here. I know I could. You know, I think I'm gonna be alright for the most part in the tangible mundaneness of my life, as opposed to my mental health and my emotional state. I know I'll never be mentally stable. I will, not saying I'm going to be unstable, but a little wobbly. I think because I don't feel as though I deserve to be mentally stable. Like, completely stable and thinking everything's alright, because it's not. You know? It's not alright, and it's never gonna be alright. Because even if in the future, when my kids can make that conscious decision to say, hey, I want to go and have a relationship with my mother, that was all those years wasted. It doesn't make everything all better again. It's going to make the future good, but it's not going to take away the pain of the past. There's going to be so much healing needed to be done. And I just keep preparing for that day, if it ever happens, that I'm reunited with them in some way, shape, or form. So, I'm going to end this video soon. I just want to give a shout out to my friend Vivi. Hello there in the magical fortress. Yeah. Okay. I'm probably taking this channel into a new direction. It's still gonna be, like, all about me, obviously. But I'm thinking about doing movie reviews, just to have a hobby, you know, because everyone needs a hobby. My hobby has been making YouTube videos, but what am I going to make YouTube videos about? I can't just keep doing a personal blog. That's not really much of a creative outlet, just me sitting here talking to the camera. So I'm going to start small, because that's what you gotta do. And besides, it works in great because I already have to write a movie review for English 102 this semester. So that works out pretty good. I could get 2 things done in one shot. Yeah, this room is still a work in progress, and that's fine. The whole house is always a work in progress, really. And what home isn't? I can't really say that any house is going to be completely done and put together, because you're going to be like, oh man, I gotta change this around. I don't like it over there. Over here. Oh, I'm getting tired of this. I'm gonna change the color. But yeah, this is where I'm gonna end the video, because I think you've heard me rattle on long enough. Alright. See you, YouTubers.